Welcome to the Bet Big Talk Loud podcast for Friday, February 27th. Good to be with everyone. I'm Chris Hodge. Got my main man JR right here. What a show we have planned. Really great interview coming up with the one and only David Faustino.
I'm excited about that one.
Oh, man, that's going to be a
I
great
watched
interview.
every episode when I was growing up. It was like my favorite show.
Who didn't?
Didn't get any better.
Married with Children. Obviously, anyone around our age and wherever you are, you know the show Married with Children.
Still watch clips and laugh your butt off. It's freaking awesome.
One of the greatest shows ever. So David Faustino will be on about a half hour. So we're very excited and very thankful that he joined on the Bet Big Talk Loud podcast. Before we get going, we have to do it again just from the men's side. Right now, I know this was on Sunday and it was Friday. There was some times past it. But congratulations.
Got to do it.
To the men's USA hockey team.
What a job. I mean, I got asked about it on Alabama this morning when I was doing the interview, and man, I just couldn't be. They couldn't have had a better player to get that winning goal and represent U.S. Jack Hughes has been awesome. Every interview he's done, just a perfect representation. And listening to the Canadians cry like little bitches has been even better.
The biggest crybaby country
Never
I've ever
seen anything like it. I mean, you got to be humble. You have the three best players on the ice. And you're still bitching that it's 3-on-3. I didn't hear anyone bitching in the, when they won to get into the finals. Yeah, no.
Hey, I'll tell you this. I hate hearing it in sports. I really do. I hate it. Well, that is a whole other issue because that's a rule thing. I hate when a team loses a game and then they insinuate that they were the better team. I hate that, man. Yeah, you either win or you lose. Right?
Who was the best team on the ice? Get out of here.
Oh, if you watch the game, you know we're the better team. You fucking lost.
You lost. And you were on your heels almost the entirety of the first period. You finally got some pressure on.
Though, the second and third period.
The second and third period, they did. Yeah, they definitely did. But they would, in my opinion, they passed the puck way too much. I just felt like our unit was more cohesive. It was more of a team. They put together the right team for the U.S. They really did.
Well, McKinnon crying, he had a wide open net. Stevie Wonder could have hit that puck.
I could have hit it like, on shoes with no skates.
World-class number 2 hockey player in the NHL, and you miss a wide open net. Then you have the balls to complain and say, "Oh, the 3-on-3, we would have better."
Come on, put the puck get out of here. I do feel bad for Connor McDavid. Obviously
he is a good ambassador.
He really is
of the game.
He is, especially for Canada, and now to lose the cup multiple times, and now to lose the gold medal. That's got to be rough on him.
One of the greatest moments, man, and I know it's been talked about a lot. We'll talk about it one more time, man. Them bringing Johnny Gaudreau's kids on the ice for the picture. I mean, that is just
unreal.
Yeah. Yeah, unreal. That was well done by the USA hockey players. Well done by Gaudreau's family because that's got to be so tough to go through. You want to go support the boys, but you're still dealing with heartbreak, going to deal with it forever.
And the cameras kept going and panning on them. They had to know that they were going to be in the spotlight, but man, oh man, it really was just like everything was just so set up perfectly.
Yeah, you get chills.
Pretty awesome. And now, it's going to be great for the NHL.
Well, if the NHL don't fuck it up. Right? Because whoever markets the NHL is just terrible. Like, if you can't off this, so right now everyone hates the NBA, right? No one's happy with the NBA.
Big market share to be taken.
Right, like you're coming off a game. I was getting texted during that game, if the NHL was like this every night, it'd be the best sport in the world.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, that game was incredible.
But the NHL is great all the time. I mean, regular season games are exciting. What other sport do you have that much overtime?
All right, I'm going to tell you my reasons for why the NHL is the 4th most popular sport in this country. Okay, I'm going to see if you agree. 1, it's very expensive to play. So they alienate a large portion of Americans, whether white, African American, or whoever, who just do not have the money to play, so they don't get into the game. But that is number 1. But we are in the gambling business, right? And you do give out NHL games, and you do a good job with it. But it is the 4th most gambled on sport.
It is.
It does not seem like there's a lot of interest in terms of gambling.
My clients are excited when I bring up I've got an NHL game. You'd be surprised how many guys out there really do follow hockey. It's much more than you would think. Like, I know you don't realize it because I know you don't do a lot of hockey.
No, I don't even watch it.
You're
I watch the
huge college basketball,
yes.
But you're not sitting down watching Rangers or hockey, or Islanders in the evening. That is something I've been doing for a while, and we've been excellent at handicapping it. And a client once you're a client of mine, you don't care if I'm giving you a cricket game at 3 a.m. in India. I mean, we're winning.
Yep.
That's all that matters is we're winning. But hockey, I mean, you're right. Most players don't play it. I think it has inched up past baseball, hockey, as far as the amount of people betting it. Because baseball is like no one bets baseball.
We're going to talk about baseball and betting and what the ABS is doing to that.
You got to be a real fan to sit down and just watch baseball all the time.
Yeah, that's another sport I really don't watch. I watch the occasional Yankee game.
Same here, but I can't sit there and watch it all day, every day like I do football.
I'm going to do something I've never done on this podcast or any podcast. I'm going to talk about a child and a kid. This kid, man, I want you to remember the name. All right? This kid is 9 years old. Remember this name. Benjamin Cartwright. All right? 9 years old. We're going to play a video of this kid. Now, you're going to watch this kid get off to a start and literally just explode.
He just showed it to me. Unreal.
He just explodes through the start, explodes through the finish. Now, I coach his Uncle Cam in football. And his Uncle Cam is one of the best athletes that I've ever seen. In fact, and this is a semi-pro league. When I met him 9 years ago, Uncle Cam, I went up to him, and the first thing I said to him was, "What the hell are you doing here? Why are you not in the NFL?" So,
what position?
Wide receiver.
Okay.
So Benjamin Cartwright, now his Instagram handle is Benji the DA Track Star. So Benji the Track Star. Go check this kid out. Go watch this kid's races and remember this kid's name. Right now, I mean, you got to be pretty low to bet a 9-year-old. If I could bet right now this kid is going to be an Olympian, I would unload and bet 10,000 that this kid's going to be an Olympian.
Based on what you showed me, if that kid stays healthy and can keep his knees on, holy crap. He's not only going to be an Olympian, he'll be a gold medalist that doesn't stop getting gold after gold after gold. He's that explosive.
So go check out Benjamin Cartwright. Remember that name, Benji the Track Star on Instagram. And hey, he has a big race coming on Saturday, 200 meter. We're going to wish you well on that, Benjamin. Make sure you go get the gold. One more thing I have to mention, very near and dear to my heart, okay? And I think, there was we don't do politics, just very rarely. There was an unfortunate incident in New York City a few days ago with the snowstorm where there was snowballs thrown at
the
the
police.
NYPD.
Yeah,
right?
it was disgusting.
This has got to stop, right? Like, this is ridiculous, right? How we're treating people that are on the first line in many instances, and they're there to keep us safe. This has got to stop throughout the country. This is bullshit.
How many people that threw a snowball are going to call 911 in the next 90 days?
Of course.
I mean,
that's the hypocrisy of it.
It's a joke.
But I
have
to mention the National Public Safety Football League. You can visit it on their website, which is npsfl.org. Now, this is a football league. It's all throughout the country. Teams of first responders, cops, firemen, sheriff's department, you name it. First responders. It's a semi-pro football league. It's near and dear to my heart. They do a fantastic job. Andy Singleton for FDNY does a fantastic job getting out. They get the games on Fox Sports and all over YouTube. And let me tell you something. This semi-pro, the talent in this league, man, I'm standing on the sidelines and I watch some of these guys. And I'm like, there's talent here. Like, there's a lot of guys that are very talented in this football league. And they do a great job. The season is starting in a couple weeks, so go check out the National Public Safety Football League, npsfl.org. And I think you're going to be really pleased with what you watch with those games.
I'll take football any way I can get it, man.
Absolutely.
Right now, are you kidding me? I need a football fix.
All right, let's do a podcast. Let's have some fun. Again, we have David Faustino coming up. Podcast sponsored by GirlsThatGamble.live and TakingVegas.com. Both websites doing great. We got our C4 here. You got your, what is this, Coca-Cola Zero? All right, here we go.
Still losing the pounds, bro.
All right, so this is great. So, and I think this is going to have a lot to do with gambling. People are going to have to adjust what they do when it comes to baseball. So we're going to talk about it. So we got the ABS. All right, now the ABS obviously had to be invented because umpires are awful.
Oh, it's unreal.
They're that bad.
They're that bad.
They're that bad.
It's just out of control.
So here's the thing that drives me crazy, and we're going to get into this whole thing. I hate MLB umpires. I hate them. They are my least favorite group of refs, officials, whatever you want to call them. And all,
you're killing me, man.
I hate them.
My father was an amateur umpire for 30+ years.
Was he an MLB umpire?
No.
Then he don't suck. But, okay. I hate them. And here's why. First of all, they're thin-skinned. Okay? Whenever you see a batter complain about a ball or a strike, that batter's almost always right.
Almost, yeah.
Okay. Almost always right.
I agree.
A high percentage of the time.
They are.
Why is that? They're world class, bro. Their eyes are insane.
They know their own strike zone.
100%.
They know their strike zone. In fact, it's relatable. I saw a guy in an interview. I don't know who it was. Can't give you the name, but this guy was saying how when he was younger, he would just blast everyone would hit him. He had an unbelievable fastball, but everyone hit him. When he got up into the majors, actually it was Greg Maddux. He said when he was younger, everyone would hit him. He never thought he would become a major league pitcher. When he got into the majors, no one would swing. And it was because when you're younger, you swing at everything. So the young guys, he's throwing a slider, they're swinging. These guys, they see it coming, they don't think it's going to cut the way that it does. So you're 100% right.
Their eyes are insane.
They're insanely good.
So now here, the MLB umpire, you miss a ball that's off the plate by 4, 5, 6 inches. The player gets pissed off, and what do? You turn around and throw the player out of the game. So you're thin-skinned. You're a bunch of babies, all of you. So now, because you're so bad at your job, they got to bring the computer into it. So this was hilarious, man. I was actually crying. I was laughing so hard. So I believe it was the Pirates-Red Sox exhibition game a few days ago.
Yep.
I mean, guys are coming to the plate. Now, how you review it is when you just tap your helmet, right? This umpire, Mitch something, I can't even pronounce his last name. This umpire missed 5 straight calls. Whether he called, 5 straight. And so now they give each team 2 challenges.
A couple of them were off by half a centimeter.
Doesn't matter. He missed it.
It's a half a
I don't give a
centimeter.
Fuck. He missed it. Okay? And
that's what baseball's always been, though.
Missing calls?
You're not missing. When you're off a half a centimeter, different umpires will have different strike zones. There's not a set strike zone.
I hate. Wrong. Incorrect.
There is now.
No, there is a strike zone. Yes, umpires have their own strike zone, which is bullshit. The strike zone is the strike zone. Who the fuck are you to come up with your own strike zone?
You're not your own strike zone. Just if a ball's here, you might call it a ball. As long as you're consistent, is what they always said.
Well, knees to the chest, or right here. Like, listen, you're so bad at your job, they had to bring the computers into it. And if I could bet, so now there's a couple of things that are going to happen here. First of all, if I could bet the amount of ABS challenges in the game, because each team has 2. I would say there's going to be more than 5 a game.
At least.
Because when you they're going to
be right.
You're right. You don't lose it. Right? Umpires miss calls all day long. But here's what it's going to do to gambling. You know how baseball totals are usually around 8.5?
Sure.
9.5?
Yeah.
I think it's going to explode.
Really?
I do. Because their hitters are so good. Right?
You could be right.
They're going to expand. The pitchers are not going to be able to expand the zone anymore and get a strike.
That's right.
And you got these hitters who are insanely talented.
And now you
got to throw strikes.
Now you're tightening the strike zone.
You're tightening the strike zone, right? You're not getting that 2-inch outside call anymore.
I guess they're going to get what they want without having to power up the baseballs.
And juice up the baseballs. I'm going to say this. There are going to be way more strikes turned into balls than balls turned into strikes. So that is going to favor the hitter.
That is going to favor
And I think
the
the totals in these games, I
didn't even think about it. It's so relevant. You're absolutely right.
You're going to see the highest number of runs scored in baseball this season.
You know, you might want to jump on those overs early in the season before the books catch on.
Well, there's a couple of things. Now you have bad weather in a lot of places, or the ball don't travel as far. Still got the dead ball in California at night. Still deal with that early in the season. But to your point, total set at 8.5, 9.5. If they maintain the same totals as they've generally done in history, I just see games going well over the total.
And they'll adjust it as they go, right? Just like the NBA. Remember when the NBA started shooting nothing but threes? Those totals were not up where they are today.
No.
I remember totals being 187, 188, 192. If you saw 202, you're like, oh my God, what's going on with that one? Now there's nothing less than 215.
So you know this, people out there listening, customers, you probably know it too. And for people who don't know us, you're about to learn it. We don't really bet a lot of baseball.
No.
Very, very rarely. And my particular reason for that is, one, had nothing to do with my dislike or like of the sport or it's boring. The guy who controls baseball the most is the home plate umpire, in my opinion. I don't trust these fucks to get the calls right. And we saw it this year in football with the officiating, how poor it was and how they blew a lot of games.
They did.
In MLB, one guy, man, if this guy decides to, give you outside, inside corner, whatever, the whole game changes. So now you had to study what the umpire strike zone was in terms of you're trying to wait.
You had to know yeah.
And there's just too many. Now baseball is also, the line is also formed of starting pitcher.
Big time.
10 years ago, starting pitchers were going 7, 6, 8 innings, right?
Correct.
And these starting pitchers go 3 or 4 innings right now, like it's going out of style.
Correct.
Now it's the bullpen. So baseball is a very difficult sport to bet on. Now people out there might disagree, and that's fine.
The reason why I don't give out a lot of baseball is because mathematically, I feel that the risk reward is not the same
With the money line?
With the money line, right. Now, don't get me wrong. If you find a good, run line,
120,
or even a good run line where you just got a big mismatch and the -1.5 is going to bring back, let's say, plus 130 or something, I might be, more leaning towards the run line. But even those, they're just so few and far between. So I don't want to lay 185 on any game.
Yeah, we would never do. First of all, they don't need us for that.
But right, and those are the ones that make the most sense, right? The best matchup, the best pitching matchups are all going to be the bigger favorite.
But a customer don't need to pay for that. A
No,
customer can do that on
and
their
that's
own.
what I feel like.
Yeah,
you're paying me, and I'm giving you a $175 favorite. The guy's going to be like, really?
Go pick that on your own. I say that all the time.
That's why we do so well with the false favorite.
Well, yeah, and we're going to give out another underdog today that we absolutely love. Last week for free, Arizona. The funny thing about Arizona last week is, again, everything I say here is true. You guys can believe it or not. I really don't care. When we gave out Arizona, and we did that on the radio show the following day on Saturday, we had a lot of calls come in. Pete's out. Like, dumb dick. I just said that on the podcast. I told you that 24 hours ago.
You're so nice.
Right? But I'm sitting there, and when customers call in, not customers, but people off the radio show call in, and they hate a play, just load up.
Load it. Oh, my God.
Load up.
When I got into this business back a long time ago, geez, it's been a long time. But I love when you're on the phone with a guy and you're like, yeah, get in the Raiders -3. And they're like, oh my God, no, I love the Rams. I can't bet that. You're like, oh boy.
Yeah, lock winner.
Get the vault open. We are going to unload on this one.
I'll tell you, and this happens like 2 or 3 times a year with us. People will just call in, they're jerk offs, whatever. They just call in, they're not customers. Well, I don't need you. The Packers go. The last time this happened was Packers Carolina.
I know the game.
It was great. There is a guy who called in screaming how you don't need that. Packers were like -13 in the game.
They were.
Okay. I don't need you. I'm betting everything on the Packers. I'm putting every tease on the Packers, doing this, that, and this other on the Packers, blah, blah, blah. The Packers.
Money line.
The guy's phone number was disconnected the next day. Lose outright.
Outright. And wasn't that one of the biggest bets of the year
Then when the Packers played Cleveland.
Yes.
When they lost that game outright. But this guy was so emphatic. First of all, you're giving me a 13-point favorite. Get fucking real. Will you? Like, are you kidding me? Really? Like, and then you lose the game and you don't have
outright.
The ball. And you know who you are. If you're listening, you know who you are. Okay? I hope you're listening to this because you did disconnect your phone number like a little bitch. Okay? But I hope you're listening to this because you know what you did and you know you're a fucking loser. And
Jesus Christ.
Well, I'm not allowed to say that.
You can say whatever you want.
Yeah, fuck them.
You are just, man, you're on a fucking rant today.
I'm on a rant every day.
Yeah, no, today you're definitely.
Care. It's the truth.
I like it. Go ahead, keep ripping them up.
You know how I am.
Yeah, listen. I got
What about
tagged.
when the lawyers call me
I got
up?
tagged the nice guy. I don't know how that happened.
You did. Yo, so the people that watch and some of the people that are talking about sponsoring, they're like, that guy JR seems like such a nice guy. What a great guy. And they're going, then there's you, Chris. Whatever. You got me losing my train of thought now. When it comes to sports wagerers, I'm very honest with them.
You are.
Like, and I know I get called from when the lawyers call me up when we do the radio show, and they're like, you might not want to be that mean.
Wasn't there one time they made you redo it, like a segment? They were like, no, that's just too much. Pouring it on.
So you have part of that story right. Okay? They asked me to redo it. I said no. So that's the true story. So I go on and I blast people, and the lawyers told me I had to redo it. I said, I'm not redoing it. And they're like, okay, Chris, don't ever do it again. The best is when they tell me I can't make fun of not saying the Super Bowl in February. And I go on and make fun and I say it's the dumbest rule ever. And now we're coming up on more bullshit in 2 days. When March happens, you're not allowed to say March Madness.
Nope.
Where do you fucking people write these rules?
Can't, who gets to patent a month's name?
Who comes up with this nonsense?
You can't say Sweet 16. You won't be allowed to say Elite 8. You're not
Remember what I did last year? I've done this for multiple years.
Oh, yeah.
So this is true. On radio, we're not allowed to say Sweet 16, Elite 8, Final Four, even though all these fucks are involved with gambling. You're not allowed to say it. So I go on, I say Sweet 17 -1. That's no good either.
And you got in trouble.
I got in trouble for that. But you see me laughing? That's how much I give a fuck. So, but I'll tell you this about college basketball. Tomorrow is shaping up. Actually, tonight, and some of you won't see this before these games happen, Miami, Ohio's 28-0, right? They're a big favorite tonight.
They are.
And they've been covering games.
It's kind of odd. Thursday, there was only one top 25 game.
Michigan, Illinois tonight is shaping up to be a great game.
That's going to be a really good game.
And then tomorrow, man, there are good games all over the
All over the board. Saturday is not going to be a letdown, that's for sure.
No. How about this one? Virginia is playing Duke.
Yep.
Virginia -11. Virginia number 11, Duke number 1.
Yep.
Duke a big favorite.
They are.
And again, this podcast,
Rightfully so.
Yes, and off a big win against Michigan.
Huge win.
This podcast is being done Friday afternoon, so we're giving you the lines at what they just came out at. Obviously, they could move, and I'm giving you a free pick on the Arkansas-Florida game when we get to the end of this. But Duke -9.5, total 137.5. Now, this is interesting. Duke has won 15 out of 16 games.
Unreal.
Red hot.
Yeah.
Virginia has won 14 out of 15 games. Do you know who beat both teams? You should know this. You should know this. Now, he don't watch the college basketball like he's an NFL guy.
Alabama.
Not a bad guess, but not a good guess because they're in a different conference. North Carolina.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was going to say UNC.
North Carolina has beaten both teams.
I swear, in my mind, I was like, North Carolina?
And North Carolina beat Duke at the end, and it was a good
It's just
game
that North Carolina
Virginia.
fucked me 3 weeks ago on a.
We were on that game, the Syracuse game.
As good as they've been, man, Jesus, are you shitting me?
How about the player on Syracuse?
34 points with 9 minutes left.
32 with 7 minutes left. How about the player on Syracuse when Syracuse was finally covering the game at the end of the game? He was like, no, don't foul. Are you kidding? Don't foul. We're under the number.
We're under the number. We're good. All good, guys. We're good here.
That shit's great.
It's incredible, man.
You can't make it up.
I literally turned it off. I'm like, that's a winner.
That's a
Click,
winner.
turn it off. Go watch some movie. We'll be all right. Maybe spend some time with my wife.
We were on a game. We were on a game recently.
And you know how I know that the game lost? This is how I knew.
Oh, yeah.
You want to talk about how shitty some of the clients are? So when I win, the phone doesn't make a noise.
Crickets.
There's nothing. Okay, so I turned the game off on the UNC, and I'm like, all right, that's a winner. And all of a sudden, about 15, 20 minutes later, I start hearing bloop, 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 bloop. Like,
what the hell
there's
is
no
going on?
fucking way. Go over, and the first thing I do is UNC score. What the fuck? Go look at my phone, and what happened?
So we were on this game. I don't know what I think this game was Tuesday or Wednesday. It was one of those days. Alabama played Mississippi State. We're on Alabama.
Yes.
Alabama was 13.5.
Sure was.
Alabama was up 39 or 40 in the game.
They sure were.
And it got down to 19.
Yeah.
Everyone in my living room, including the dogs, walked out of the living room.
Are we going to have to get another new TV?
Fucking North Carolina and go all over again. Are you kidding me?
I could probably do a whole segment where I just read text messages on the days that we've lost the game. Oh my God. I actually have to tell clients I'm not taking you on for more money until I find out if you're a dick or not.
Violence, man. But you know something? I get a lot of it. Like if you paid someone and you lose, I get your emotion and you're upset. Here's what I don't understand. When you win, how do you forget the type?
All of a sudden,
forget how to work your cell phone.
I've had guys win legitimately 7, 8, 9 games in a row.
Lose one
Nothing. You lose one game, they're drunk 2 a.m., you wake up to a tirade on your text message.
And you know what
it's
the funny
insane.
thing is? We laugh. Like this guy didn't text us.
I don't even look no more. I'm like, all right, well, we'll just deal with it tomorrow. No big deal. What am I going to do? I'm going to sit there. Because, I mean, we do so much more winning than losing. I'm not going to sit there and acknowledge every time we lose a game. It's just downright stupid.
It's funny. What are you? You're 16-6. You went 16-5 in the NFL. You lost the NBA game last week. No problem. 16-6. So you go 16-5 in the NFL. No one said anything about the 16 winners. Those 5 losses, like 3 times people complained.
All over the place.
You suck.
What? Where are you getting these games from, JR? Did you pick that one out your ass? You couldn't pick your nose if you tried.
I'm 16-8, so put those 2 together. What's that, 32
Oh, you must have been really abused for 8 of them.
Yeah, I mean, holy shit. And I gave out a plus 200 money line underdog winner.
And nothing.
No one said a word.
Crickets.
No one said a word.
I love it.
Oh, boy. I was getting killed in a game before the game even ended that I won. It was an under.
Oh, those are the best.
Yeah.
When at halftime, they're like, oh, we're fucked
suck.
in this one.
Yeah, you suck.
Let's go, baby. Bet the halftime. That's what happens there.
So Duke, Virginia, interesting game tomorrow. Kansas and Arizona. Everyone should know this right now. Kansas, their Big Monday record.
Unreal.
Under Bill Self, he's never lost a Big Monday game. Now, obviously, tomorrow, Saturday, they're on the road. When we say he hasn't lost a Big Monday game, he hasn't lost a Big Monday game at home in his life.
In his life.
At Kansas.
Isn't that crazy?
41-0.
Crazy stat.
Insane.
I don't know if that's something you consider when you're handicapping, though. I mean, really.
I think there's something to that building on a Monday night.
You think there's relevance there?
I do. In terms of what's going on in the 5-on-5 gameplay, obviously that doesn't come into it. But if there are buildings, and you notice, there are buildings that are just hard to go to and win. And that building on a Monday night, just shady shit goes on where it's hard to win.
It's like in Pittsburgh on a Monday night.
They're another team up until the playoffs this year because that Houston game was on Monday night. They hadn't lost a Monday night home game since '91. Like, what? How?
Insane.
Meanwhile, they can't win a Thursday night road game.
To save their lives. Short week, not a chance.
Kansas, Arizona tomorrow. Obviously, Arizona number 2 in the country. They're -8.5. They just played on Big Monday a few weeks ago. Kansas beat them.
You think they're going to stay up there?
Where?
Arizona.
I do. They're in the top 4. They're a number 1 seed. Yeah, they're a number 1 seed. I do believe Duke beating Michigan. I do believe Duke is the best team in the country. Again,
what do you think the SEC this year?
Well, SEC.
I mean, Florida's number 1,
Arkansas,
right?
Florida, Tennessee, Alabama are going to be, and they're playing tomorrow. SEC is deep. I do. The Big 12 is just outrageous.
They're unreal, right?
I mean, Houston, Kansas, Arizona. I mean, there are some really good teams there, and even the bottom tiers can give you a problem. You know what I'm saying? Like Baylor can give you a problem on any day.
Sure.
You know. So, but I think this year. And we're going to talk about this next week with our guest. I'm not going to tell you who it is, but we do have a special guest coming on to talk about the NCAA
nice
conference tournaments and March Madness, which I'm not allowed to say in about 36 hours. I think there are 8 teams this year, maybe 9, that if they won the national title, I would not be shocked.
Really? That many?
Yeah.
Can you give me your Final 4 right now?
Well, I mean, the Final 4 is so hard to predict. I mean,
just give me your top 4 teams.
Okay, UConn is always going to be a problem.
Always.
Okay,
I agree.
Obviously, you go through the rankings. Right, Duke is going to be a problem. Big win against Michigan. Arizona going to be a problem, but they're young.
That's what I was getting at. That's why I said, do you think Arizona is going to stay where they are?
I think they're going to be a number 1 seed, but they're young. Obviously, here's a team that we talked about forever. And no one's talking about them at all, and they have 2 losses. And it's Gonzaga. Right? Same shit, though.
I can't take them serious ever. I mean, I do, but I can't. I mean, if you're just going to constantly go deep and never win a national title, I'm not going to give you credence.
And please, for the love of God, man, don't take any credence to what I'm about to say about tonight. Michigan is playing Illinois. I don't, please. But I do believe Illinois is going to be a very hard out in the tournament. I believe they shoot the 3, they play defense.
I was going to say it's that defense, right?
They play
defense. Does so good in the tournament. They got the
kid Wagler, who's insanely talented. That is going to be a problem team.
Sure.
Kansas, if the fucking kid Peterson ever decides he wants to keep playing, Kansas is going to be a problem. So again, right there, when I say, it is 8 teams right there, I just gave you, Duke, Arizona, Michigan, UConn. Don't sleep on Houston. I know they're on a 3-game losing streak right now. Gonzaga, maybe this is the year the magic happens. Illinois going to be around. We didn't even mention Michigan State, who just had a big win last night at Purdue. We didn't even mention Purdue, who could be a problem. I don't
know. Purdue's been a little up and down.
Been erratic.
They really have been.
Yep.
But they are a great tournament team.
And we're gonna talk about this as we go. Great things going on. So we got the interview with Faustino coming up in just a few moments. I'm gonna get to a free pick.
Yes.
You're not gonna give out a free pick. If you want his NHL picks, okay, because it's hard for us. I want you guys to understand that By the time you see this podcast on a Friday, you know, the game's probably off. But if you call 888-994-6669, just ask for JR and his NHL picks. He'll hook you up with them.
I will.
And he's doing a great job with those. A couple weeks ago, I went with an underdog when Kentucky played at Florida.
Yes.
They were like plus 11.5, plus 12.5. They got down early, you know, pretty big score, came back, and then I think eventually lost by 9. Last week, gave you guys Arizona right here, plus 5.5, plus 6.5, whatever,
Ballsy.
plus 245 on the money line. Did not give out the money line last week, but we did think they were going to win the game outright, which we gave out on the radio show.
Yes.
Okay.
That was a false favorite.
Yes. So now I'm going to give you another underdog. By the way, Tanya, she's going to love this pick. Tanya, you're going to love this pick. Actually, I told you I was going to do this too earlier in the day. Great lady. I talk about her all the time from Arkansas.
You do.
Phenomenal. Going to use the Razorbacks tomorrow. Going right against Florida again. I think right now, this moment, Arkansas might have the second best player in the country.
Really?
This moment. A-Cuff is unbelievable. You know, he is unbelievable. I think he might be right now, and he might be the best player.
Do they have
right
the
now.
depth?
I do. I believe that they have some injury concerns.
Right.
But again, you don't need to win the game. Arkansas tomorrow is getting plus 10.5. Okay. And again, let's see here, 4:13 Friday. So the line Eastern time.
What's this guy talking about? The line's 11.
But look, Arkansas has won 8 of their last 10. They lost by 8 to Kentucky. I believe they lost by 2 to Alabama in an epic triple-double overtime game, whatever it was. So they have the last 10 games. They've either won or not lost by more than 8, and they're getting 10.5. Florida take nothing away from them. They're red hot. They've won 13
best team
out of
in the
14.
SEC by far.
Well, these are the two best teams, I think. Okay. By the way, we talk about teams that can make a run in March Madness. I think Arkansas and Florida can make a run. We didn't even mention them before.
Florida can definitely.
So think about it.
I think Alabama's on right now.
Red hot.
They are red hot, man. They are rampant. I'm not just saying it because they've made us money. They're deep. That's what I like about them.
They've won 7 straight.
7 straight.
They've won 7 straight, so they're red hot. So Arkansas and Florida, 2 teams we didn't talk about when we're talking about potential, national championship teams. I just think it's too many points. I said this last week, thought it was too many points. I said it 2 weeks ago, thought it was too many points. I just think it's too many points. I think it's going to be a close game. I think Arkansas has enough talent. I think they have enough ability. They very well may have, if not in this particular game, but they probably have the best player on the floor right now because A-Cuff is just out of his mind right now. And I think they're going to keep it a game. So free pick, I'm going to go.
I like it.
10.5 right now. It could go to 9.5. Could go to 11.5.
And you're not big on the underdogs usually. You know, at least bigger underdogs. When you pick dogs,
we have something called the false fucking favorite.
I understand that. That's why I'm saying normally your dogs are like 3.5, 4.5.
Oh, you're talking about big prices.
Correct.
I got you.
Yeah, it wasn't fucking putting you down.
I was saying. I mean, we basically.
He always thinks I'm going to jab him in the middle of the fucking podcast.
All right, guys. We got David Faustino coming up. Great actor, been around forever.
I should have been in that interview.
Oh, my God. Yeah, close this out before we get to David.
Let's go out there and make some money.
Keep it right here for David Faustino. All right, welcome back to the Bet Big Talk Loud podcast. My absolute pleasure. We have David Faustino joining the show. David, thank you so much for hopping on this Friday afternoon.
Thank you, man. Thanks for having me.
And this interview is sponsored by GirlsThatGamble.live. And David, I got to get right to it. When I began telling people that you were coming on the show, the first thing people started saying to me was Married with Children. And you were part of an iconic television show for 11 years. I know when we were talking earlier, I said 10 years. And you're like, don't short a year.
Giving points.
But, hey, what's it like, to make so many people laugh? You were in people's living room every Sunday night for 11 years with, like I said, one of the funniest shows I'd ever seen. What's that mean to you?
It's a trip because, like, I lived it, so it's more almost trippy to other people. It's like I just kind of lived it and was what I was. I started that show when I was just 12, just turning 13, and it just kind of like was my existence. So it's like all I know, But as I've gotten older and been able to sort of reflect, it's like, the fact that. Like you said, we're in people's living rooms making them laugh over dinner or whatever. And I have people coming up to me all the time, whether it be in the street or at conventions or at reunions or whatever it is. And they're always like, I hear this all the time. Like, me and my family were super dysfunctional, or we didn't get along, or we didn't talk. But when we sat down to watch Married with Children for that half hour on Sunday nights, we would just laugh our asses off. So like that, means a lot. And I hear it all the time. It's crazy.
I don't know if I'm in the minority with this. I don't think I am. I think what you guys portrayed on Married with Children, I actually believe that's more normal to more American families than a lot of other things. Like that is like the norm. The father's going to work, every single day at a job he doesn't like, right? We do that. Your brother and sister, they're always fighting, but when it comes down to it, if they had to be together, they're together. And then just a wife who, like in the show, she really wasn't a good wife, but
right.
She always had his back when she had to. It was just, I felt like that was more normal. Do you agree with that?
Yeah, I mean, we definitely weren't the Huxtables, and most American families are not, and I think that's what resonated with America, and by the way, other countries. And I think that and it broke all barriers, all socioeconomic barriers. So like the hood loved it, the white hood loved it, the black hood loved it, the rich people. It like broke all barriers. So it was pretty cool because I think, like you said, people could relate to it more than they could, say, the Huxtables or Family Ties or one of these shows where you got to learn a lesson every 22 minutes that they air it. And there was no lessons on Married with Children. It was just like let's make people laugh.
I will disagree with one thing though. I think there was an actual lesson though. It was, hey, not everything's gonna go your way. You got to keep going to work every day. You got to keep trying. And that's what happened on that show. So, to be a part of that, David, that was probably my favorite show growing up. To this day, when I watch reruns, I laugh my ass off, man. I still do.
Thank you. That's a trip you say that because, like, as we did this reunion and, I produced the whole thing and, like, I had to put together the reel for the warm-up reel. And, I got to like go through a bunch of old clips and old shows and piece together like a 15-minute reel. And dude, there was shit I didn't remember. I was just laughing, man. It cracked me up. Some of the shit Ed did just cracked me up, man.
I'm going to say before we move on, because I know you got such great projects going on. There was one particular scene. And I just, every time I see the scene, I die laughing. I don't know if you're going to remember it. I'm sure you will. But you had moved into a female dorm college. Like whatever happened, you were able to get into a female dorm college. And you tried drilling a hole into like their bathroom door or their wall. And, Ed O'Neill, Al Bundy was like, that's low, son. And you just looked at him like you were like disappointed. He's like, it's too low. Raise it up. You're going to be looking at knees.
That's hilarious.
It's just a great one.
Talk about shit you can't get away with today.
And hey, great segue, because my next question was, do you think you've been able to make that show in today's climate?
You would be able to make it to a certain degree. It would have to, like, some things would have to be shifted. To some extent, you would be able to get away with a little bit more. But a lot of the politically incorrect things you might not be able to, unless you're just completely unapologetic about it and you just don't give a shit and you go. But we have to go back to sponsors, right? So I think that sort of there was some racist stuff about the French that would probably have to be gone. There was stuff about how shall I put this gently, larger women. That was a big theme of the show. So there's some things you probably wouldn't get away with, but you could still do it. It would just have to shift a little bit.
Well, man, David, I think you guys did 259 some odd shows, man. That is a phenomenal run. Look, there's not many people walking this earth that were part of a television show that was that iconic. You are actually one of those people. So that was well done. I know you were a kid when you're doing that show, but man, you guys were great together.
Thank you, man. Yeah, I walked on that set when I was 12 and I left the set when I was 24. So it was literally my adolescence, my teenage life, and my early 20s. It's kind of crazy.
Yeah, one last question on it, because I always wondered, do they kind of does Ed and Katie kind of become your parents away from your parents, that you're around them too much? Or it's just acting, it's just a job?
To a certain extent, I would say more Ed. Like, Katie's amazing. The cool thing about that is that a lot of people, they do shows and they don't see each other again, but very rarely. And dude, we've stayed like super close, like talk on the phone all the time, talk shit, go through crap together, see each other, do these reunions, and so it's very cool. But Ed, in a way, Ed was a father figure. He was much different than my dad. My dad was very strict, old school Italian Catholic, and so I couldn't get away with too much. But Ed was just kind of that just funny dude that I could say whatever I wanted to in front of, and we hung out all the time. It was a lot of Ed and I. We would always go to lunch together, the two of us. We would check out different restaurants, just him and I, because he loves to eat, dude. This guy, like, he's passionate about food. And so we would, so we were, it was like father son, but it was also like just a really close friendship. He took a he took a great liking to me, and I did to him. So it was a cool relationship. And like I said, we're still friends to this day, and we talk on the phone. When you get on the phone with Ed, you gotta calendar a good hour and a half, 2 hours, because he's old, rich, likes to talk, and in no hurry.
Hey, listen, there's nothing wrong with that. I mean,
my wife's like, don't answer. We got shit to do.
That's awesome. That's awesome, man. And I guess that's why the synergy on that show was so great, because of the way you guys were. Again, David Faustino joining the show, sponsored by GirlsThatGamble.live. You have a passion for music, especially hip hop. You love DJing. How'd you get into all of that?
So the two things happened, when so there was two inspirations for that. One, when I was on set, one of my, set teachers, who I won't mention his name because he turned out to be just a total, are we allowed to curse on here?
Absolutely. Have fun, bro.
He turned out to be a total douchebag, but that's a whole other story.
That's the curse you went with? You could have went with fucking asshole. That's the one.
Well, I mean, there'll be more to come.
Okay.
Well, he worked with inner city kids. He worked at like these detention centers and stuff. And he was just like, just white Jewish dude. But he like would hear all the hip hop of these guys. And these were like underground, cats. Sure. And so he would bring some of that music in, and the early stuff, like underground stuff, Mixmaster Spade and all these guys. And I just took a liking to it immediately. And so, that just kind of and then Christina Applegate actually had heard about the Beastie Boys before me, the License to Ill album, and I hadn't heard it, and she hit me to that, and that was just like another level. And then I just I don't know, man, it was like just what I gravitated to. And, I love all music, but hip hop is like where my heart is. And I just kind of got deeper and deeper into it. I started running hip hop clubs at a very young age. I became friends with all of NWA and that whole crew and a lot of the West Coast rappers. And, and like I said, Married with Children, going across all socioeconomic lines, it was huge in the hood. I mean, Married with Children was the #1 show in the hood. People loved it. We had a lot of love from the hood. So I was able to meet these guys, and they were fans of mine. I was fans of them. So it was just a perfect match. Be Real and I are very close. He's one of my good friends, and he's just a great, Be Real is one of the most solid dudes you will ever meet, bar none. And we're still close to this day.
Yeah, you mentioned NWA. Believe it or not, that was my favorite group growing up.
Yeah.
It's funny. I'll tell a funny story. I go get the CD, and obviously on the CD is "Fuck the Police," right? And that was the most that was the song that just drove everyone crazy, right?
Easy.
So my parents would find it, and they would break it. Right?
Yeah.
They steal it from me. So I went and bought 3 of those. And so I don't learn after the first one. I don't learn after the second one. The third one is I got to play this when they're not around. Then I got to hide it.
Yeah. You got to stuff that shit away.
Yeah. So that's what I did. But
Ice Cube was one of the greatest writers of all time, wasn't he, man? I mean, whoo.
Yeah. I mean that when he did Friday. Right, when that was, when he was so talented, music, acting, and then obviously his son is having great success. He does the 2 Den of Thieves movies, which I thought were both great. So that's
I actually haven't seen those, but he was great. How amazing is it to be able to portray your father? It's just
absolutely,
that's just wild.
Well, if there's anyone that could do it, I guess it's your son. I don't know if my sons would be able to portray me, so he did a good job.
Mine's only 4, so we'll see.
How's that working out for you?
Woo, baby. It's a lot. I got a young daughter and a young son, and I'm officially married with children.
There you go.
It's come full circle. Yeah.
I had my first when I was 21. So I was, he's 26 now. I was a baby raising a baby. The joke I make with my wife is I could barely care for me.
Oh
Like,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
actually, unfortunately, that might still be true. If my wife went down, I got problems.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, I waited, I'm glad I waited because I wouldn't have, I was like crazy for a long time, like just wild.
Aren't
And
we all?
so,
Aren't we all,
yeah,
bro?
yeah,
Yeah,
but
come
I
on.
went, I was wild for probably 10 years too long. And, so it's good to be like an older dad and be able to like know what's important, and
Sure.
be hands on. And it's real dope. I love it.
So see, that's one perspective. Me, I'm in my mid-40s now. I'm a little bit younger than you, and I'm just like, get the fuck out of the house, man. I want to go
Yeah,
do what
yeah,
I
yeah,
want to do. So, but that's great, man. Happy for you with that. You're also you're doing a documentary about the first hip hop club on the Sunset Strip. And that sounds like that's going to be a lot of fun. I'm actually excited when that gets done. I want to watch that.
Yeah, so I'll just give you the rundown. I mean, so up until the time we started the club in 91, the Sunset Strip was literally all hair bands and rock and roll and, great, acts like the Doors were sparked there, the Whiskey and the whole Sunset Strip was metal hair. And I met Nick Adler, whose father is the legendary music producer Lou Adler. And a lot of people, well, you're a sports fan, so if you don't know who Lou Adler is, you might know him by if you watch any Lakers games back when Jack was always on the floor, Jack Nicholson.
Sure.
There was a dude next to him all the time with a beanie, glasses, and long hair and a beard.
That's
That's
great.
that's Lou Adler, who produced. I mean, he founded Cheech and Chong and Carole King. He owned the Whiskey, the Roxy, the Rainbow. He basically owned the Sunset Strip. The dude's a G, bro. Talk about just pure cool motherfucker. And he so I met his son, who's my age, Nick, and we're still friends to this day, and sometimes business partner. Well, we are business partners because he's producing this film with me, and so we talked his dad into like allowing us to do a hip hop night on Thursday nights at the Whiskey A Go Go. And Lou had a partner, old school Italian guy named Mario, who was like, "Yo, fuck that! I don't like. We don't want." Because first of all, it was all ages because the Whiskey has a restaurant license, so you can actually be all ages, even though it really is a bar. And so we just decided to throw this party there. And it became this crazy. The first night we had a line from the Whiskey A Go Go all the way to the Roxy, and it
Wow.
was just this smash success. So we decided to do it every week, and it became. We had one of NWA's DJ Speed as our DJ. Cube would come through. Leo DiCaprio so it was a mix of like hip hop LA scene and the Hollywood LA scene, and somehow it just like melded together. And the Black Eyed Peas all met and formed there. They didn't know each other.
Really?
So, yeah. So Will is Taboo is producing it with me. Will's in the film. Yeah, they all literally met there, man, in the dance circle. And Will was, people don't know this about Will. He was Will 1X at the time. And people don't know this about Will, like, because he did a lot of poppy stuff and did great at it, and they made tons of money and sold millions of records. But he started out as a battle MC, and he was one of the most vicious, badass, like freestyle rappers you will ever meet. Battler, and he would just go from the top of the head. We would have this freestyle battle every Thursday night. It would last for like 30, 40 minutes, and MCs would come up. And he came up, a year into it, and he held the championship for like another year and a half, 2 years. He would just take MCs apart from head to toe, like kind of Eminem style in 8 Mile. And that's how he got his record deal, because Eazy-E was a regular at our club. He was there like almost every week. And he would see this cat Will just fucking taking MCs apart. And so he signed Tab, Will, and Apple to Ruthless Records. And they were a group called App Band Clan at the time. And that's how it all began, And so there was a lot of careers sparked there. People, everybody came through that place, man. I mean, everybody, the Beat Junkies, and it goes on and on and on. You'll see the film. So we decided, we need to make a documentary. This is a story that needs to be told, about this actor, me, this producer's son who was, getting his bones going. He's doing great now. He's one of the heads of Golden Voice, and he's killing it. And so it's a cool story. We had a couple partners. I'll mention Dan Eisenstein and Robert Gavin, who are also in with us. And it was a moment in time, man, that could probably never be captured again because there was no social media. It was just you had to be there, you had to be present, and it was quite an adventure.
You know, it's funny you say no social media. You know, we had a few former Playboy Playmates come on, Brandy Roderick, Allison Waite,
Yep.
and they all say the same
Brandy
thing.
did an episode of Married with Children.
Yeah, man, and she was so great to have on. But they all said the same thing when they were in the Playboy Mansion. They're like, because there was no social media or holding a cell phone up at all the time, they could just let loose and enjoy. They didn't have to constantly watch over their backs, like who's doing what. Everyone says that.
I'm so lucky I grew up in, before social media, because we could have a good time and it didn't all have to be documented. And it was great. I mean, I love social media for what it is now, but it's, I don't love it for my kids. I love it for my own entertainment or my own promotion. But I'm just really grateful that, I was already a grown man when that shit came out.
Yeah, we joke all the time. My wife and I are like, boy, if we did some of the stuff that we did back then and that shit got on video, that would be
locked up.
No joke, man. Yeah. When is that documentary supposed to come out?
So we're just finishing it. We're like kind of doing a final edit right now. We're moving some things around. We have a couple companies that are like super excited about it. They're going to take it out and shop it. I think it'll land on a cool streaming service somewhere. So I would say, what are we in 2026 February? I would say like either end of this year or beginning of 27, sometime in that pocket.
That's very exciting, man. I'm just everything you just said, and just taking us back through those times. I'm looking forward to it. I can't wait for that to be live.
I think you'll enjoy the story.
Absolutely. Now, you said you had young kids. Do they go back?
By the way, Alchemist got his start there too. The Alchemist, Alchemist.
Like
people don't know he's from Beverly Hills, bro. I mean, he was born and raised in Beverly Hills. But talk about a dude who he's one of the greatest hip hop producers of all time. But him and Scotty Conn, James Conn's son, the actor Scott Conn. They were best friends, and they were a little younger than us. They would just come out. They just wanted to be down. They would hand out flyers, and they were just hip hop from the very beginning. Matter of fact, Be Real signed them. They had a group called the Hooligans to Be Real's label when they were like kids. But Alchemist, I mean, he got his start there, Alan, and he's a dope kid.
Yeah, I mean, we all grew up on it. I loved hip hop growing up. I think the hip hop late 80s on into, maybe the Eminem, Jay-Z. I just don't feel it's the same anymore. I don't know if you agree with that. I just feel like it was better, 20, 25 years ago. It was better.
It was better. But, that's why a lot of these, if you notice, there's a huge resurgence in like these guys who were in their 40s and 50s making dope albums, from Nas to De La Soul to, I mean, it goes on. And these albums are doing well.
Yeah.
And I think people are hungry for that. Not to say there aren't some great artists that are newer. Your Benny the Butchers of the world. Not to say Benny's so new, but like the Griselda movement and all that stuff. Those guys are dope. And but you turn on the radio and you just want to go, fuck, man. So you got to like search out the good stuff.
Yeah, man. Now your young children, man, have they seen you on TV? Like, did they catch a rerun and be like, wait, that looks like daddy? Like, have you let them watch anything? Do they know what you did?
Yeah, so my daughter does because she's 10. But what's really cool, the cool thing about it is I do a lot of voiceover. Voiceover is kind of like where my career has shifted. So I do cartoons and stuff that they like the How to Train Your Dragon series on Netflix and Legend of Korra, The Last Airbender. And so I get to sit with them, bro, and watch these fucking cartoons that I voice, and they're just like, that's what really excites them. That's like a dream come true, man. It's really cool. Married with Children, they can take it or leave it. It's like they don't really get it,
Yeah. Now, do you do the voices for them? Like just being a dad and you just do the voiceovers that you do?
Well, one of the characters I do is this guy named Dagger on the Dragon's Race to the Edge, and he's like this super villain, but kind of what's the word I'm looking for? He's kind of a bumbling super villain, and he's always screaming. So when I'm mad at them, yeah, I do it, but not on purpose.
That's awesome. That's awesome, man. Yeah. You really did. I don't know if you notice, and a lot of people don't really feel when that I've spoken to that have been in it, man. You meant a lot to a lot of people, bro. Like you really did. Like you growing up, I mean, I'm 40, I'm going to be 47. And I watched that show. And like I said, You know, there's not too many people walking this planet that get to be part of an iconic program. I hope you're proud of, you know, what you accomplished with that show with all of you guys, because that was some hell of a show.
It was, man. Yeah, and I sometimes, you know, can catch the weight of it, but like I said, it's just kind of like my life. But you know, like when we did this reunion back in January, you know, we did it at the Wiltern Theater out here in Los Angeles, and you know, it sold out in like a day and a half. And you know, just seeing the rabid nature of these fans, dude, it was crazy. We knew what was coming, but we didn't understand the like veracity of it, and like, you know, it was wild, man. People were decked out in their no ma'am shirts, and people were. I mean, it was wild. So we kind of got, oh man, this thing still has legs. It's crazy.
Absolutely. You know, I saw an interview with Jason Alexander from Seinfeld, right? And, you know, that's everyone. You remember Jason Alexander, you know, from Seinfeld, George, right? And he said, and this stuck with me. He was like, you know, we played these parts so well. We were so good at this. It actually made it.
If he does say so himself.
Yeah, but he goes, it actually made it harder to get jobs after, because we were almost, I think the term he used was typecast. Like, we were in on this. Yeah. Is that true? Does that happen? You guys play a guy so well that just kind of everyone sees you as that person?
Yeah, it can happen. I mean, you know, but that's, you know, you just have to get in where you fit in. It's like, you know, if I'm not getting acting jobs, I'm in voiceover or I'm in producing, or, you know, it's like I come from a showbiz family. Like 2 generations now, and you know, it's just what I know. I don't know how to do anything else. I can barely help my daughter with her homework. You know, so it's like, you know, so it's like I have to. This is what I know, and yeah, I mean, you can play. I'll use like the actor Ted Levine, who played the villain in Silence of the Lambs, you know, was it Buffalo Bill, the guy who was like kind of put his dick between his legs and did that whole thing. We have the same manager, and dude, that guy couldn't get work for forever because people would be like, yo, but now he's doing great. You know, now he's like back on shows and in movies, and he's a great actor, but he had a rough go, you know, and it just happens. And you have to, on some level, I guess you have to take it as a compliment that, you know, you play these characters so well that people, you know, remember you as them.
I think, you know what? I think it's an absolute compliment. You know, I really do. You know, that, like I said, when we first started this, man, you were in living rooms for 11 years, man. And people remember that, and you'd rather be remembered than not remembered, you know, like, and
fuck yeah.
You guys did a great job with that. David Faustino, I know you're busy today. Thank you so much for coming on and doing a great interview here on the Bet Big Talk Loud podcast. You know, the stories are great, and I thank you so much for coming on, brother.
Yeah, of course, man. Thank you so much for having me, and yeah, I'd love to come back. And
yeah, we'll do it again, man.
What's your sponsor? Girls what?
GirlsThatGamble.live. They're the sponsor of the interview. They're doing a great job, you know, giving out sports game. I know you're not, you don't get into sports so much, and you're not into so much gambling unless you head out to Las Vegas, which gets us all.
I love to shoot craps.
Oh, listen, let's do that. Right, the last time I shot craps, I got my dick kicked in, so I gotta go.
Was that on the street or in a casino?
No, I'll tell you the quick story, David. All right, and I felt so bad. This was actually on a cruise. And there was this poor old woman, man. She looked like my grandmother, and she just shaking her hands. And man, every time she threw the craps, threw the dice, she just hit me. I was on the other side of the table.
You saw her later; she wasn't shaking anymore.
Oh man, no. You know what? She was just apologizing, and you know, I go back to the damn room, and my wife's like, "How much did you lose?" And I'm like, "I'm not going to tell you because you're going to throw me off the ship." I'm blaming the old lady, but you know what? They get you in craps, but it's a fun game, so we'll get back to it.
I love the energy of it. You know, it's a lot of fun. I love craps.
Yeah, man. So David, we'll definitely have you back on. Thank you so much. This was a lot of fun, brother.
For sure. Thank you, man.
All right. That's David Faustino.